Hey DC fans, in this video I'm going to give some updates about the Black Adam movie. So before going into the updates, I want to speak about a few things about spoilers. So if you are going to get the ticket for the Batman movie, then you definitely know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, he is a billionaire, but in the night he becomes Batman. His parents were killed in the crime alley by a random thug, like that thug didn't even have any intentions. He just needed money for that night and he killed his parents. So you know all these contents about Batman before going to watch the Batman movie. So you knew this only because you have seen previous iterations of Batman, and only because you like that character so much from the previous iterations, you are going to rewatch the same character again in the theater. So this is like the fourth time we saw the Batman in movie theaters, and I have seen it more than three times in theaters and many more in digital. But you are still able to see the same first year story of that character like for the fourth time, even though you have known the spoilers. So that is because that's how interesting that character is, and there are many different contexts with which you can take a movie about a character. So if you don't see spoilers, then how will you know that whether the story which is being displayed is like uh, the story which is needed for the character. So like if you see the other company, they don't have any other major things going on in the other media, whereas in DC you have comics, you have animated movies, there are many live action depictions of Superman, Batman, you have various characters available in Injustice games, and there are so many storylines which they took in the new 52 DC animated movies and so on. So if you currently in DC movies, if you are going to watch a movie, the main reason for that movie is being made is because it got hit somewhere else. Like it got hit in an Injustice video game, or in a DC animated movie, or in an animated series, or in a cartoon from 90s or so on. So there is a past for DC. So only because that past is there in the form of other media, and definitely that would be there in comics. So if all these past are there in 90s in other media, in 70s or 60s it would be present in comics. So only because of that past, that movie itself is going to get made. So it's not like the other company where they randomly take some character and they do their own story and they'll add it into their universe and so on. So if you say you can't speak about spoilers when it comes to DC, then actually you're making a wrong choice, because DC movies are like basically a comparison. Like if you are going to make a Robin movie, or Robin where Jason Todd is going to get killed, I have seen Jason Todd being killed by Joker for more than 4 to 5 times. Like in Titan show, I have seen it. I have seen it in animated movie. In comics, recently itself, they again retold the same story. There's one old comic where it actually happened and so on. So even though we know it's the same story. Like Joker kills Jason Todd, where Batman couldn't come at the right time and save him, and Batman thinks that Jason Todd is dead and he will bury him, but only to find out that Ra's al Ghul will take the body of Jason Todd and he will bring him back to life, and in that way Jason Todd will become a bad guy. And there are many things like that, but in each iteration what DC does is either they show Ra's al Ghul, or they show Scarecrow like in Titans, or they show some other new concept. Like in the Gotham Knights movie, there is going to be some things related to this Lazarus pit where Jason Todd will be reborn, but I don't think they'll show Ra's al Ghul or any other person. So the same story you can show it in multiple context, and only when you know that this story has been done somewhere else previously, you will know the worth of the current story which is going to be told. So randomly DC or WB doesn't give a movie for a story. So if they are going to make a movie in live action, it is only because that it has that worthy content in it, both in comics and other media. So only if you know the stories before itself, you can like actually judge the movie, or else you will be like random movie, you'll go to that movie and they'll show something, you'll upload that because everyone is going to upload it, and you'll come out of it. So for this Jason Todd Robin story itself, one interesting fact is that when this began in comics, where initially Bruce Wayne Batman had only Nightwing, Dick Grayson as Robin. So after few years, like they didn't want like, so DC Comics is like one such company where everything will go smoothly and fairly, and all the fans will like the concept. Like they will spend dollars of money each month and get the issues, but the company will think that, oh, if we are continuing the same thing, then our name will become like based on this thing only. So like the Super Sons also, like the Batman and Superman's sons joined the team and they made a comic book as Super Sons. So that was a very big hit. Like 3 to 4 years back, everyone used to buy that comic, and if it was the other company, they would have kept it till now. But DC, what they did is they removed that comic. They have made Superboy into an adult. They have changed Damian Wayne into a different character and so on. So DC as a whole itself in comics will experiment the all the situations available, and in one such way they didn't want Dick Grayson to be Robin for more than 10 years or so. That I think he stayed like more than 15 years.
Так дайте пацанам посчитать потери. Суммы нули погибают на сцене. Снова один прогуляюсь без тени.
So what they did is they gave him another role, like they upgraded him into Nightwing, like he got his own character name, and they found a new boy for Robin. So this new boy, like he they the character which they made was like he wasn't a good character. Like his parents were abusing him for with drugs, and so he came out of that family itself, and I think he killed his own father. So Jason Todd, in the first iteration, I think he killed his own father. And what happens is that he chooses to be with Batman as Robin. So the issue with Jason Todd Robin was that since his character itself was like a hardcore character, like he didn't believe that much on justice and so on. What he'll do is he'll kill the thugs which Batman finds. So there was one issue where Batman will catch a thug or criminal from top of a building, and when he was doing something else, the Robin will push him off from the building, and that guy will die, and Robin will say to Batman that he slipped and fell down and so on. So what happens is that the creators of that character wanted to do something different with that character, but what happened to the fans is that they didn't like that character totally. So they didn't want this guy to be Robin itself. Like if Robin is going to cheat his Batman, which fan will love? Like no Batman fans will like that character. So they didn't have a good reception for that character, and after few years, what DC did was, this happened actually, they had a telephonic vote. So they had a time frame like within few days, and those who want to, there were two options. Like one was Jason Todd can continue as Robin, and the other was that they would do something and they'll kill him off, and you will get a new Robin. So based on the number of telephonic votes, they will decide which way to follow, and more than 80% of the Batman fans like voted for killing Jason Todd. So they were all the fans were that gruesome that they wanted to kill a child in comic books just because they didn't like that character. So that much hardcore fans were there for Batman. So what DC did is they made up a story where Joker will catch this Robin, and he'll torture him and he'll kill that character, and Batman will not be at the right time at the right place, and so Batman will worry for that character. And what they did is they even buried Jason Todd with the idea of not bringing him back for the further continuation of the comics. But someone got an idea like, why couldn't we bring him back and we make him as a different character like Red Hood? So Jason Todd is famous for being Red Hood than Robin. Like Red Hood uses guns, whereas none of the Bat family members use guns. So this concept came to that person's idea, and that writer, what he did is they teased this comeback by using Clayface. So in one issue, what they did is they made sure that Batman sees this Jason Todd being back in some form, and Batman will go near him, and he'll, like, when he tries to speak with him, it will be Clayface. Like Clayface can make different looks of himself since he's a clay, and they'll end that there. And what happened in real life is that the other company, I don't want to say the character's name, but there will be one captain character and his friend will die. If you have seen their movies, you'll know. So what they did is they saw this idea and they brought back the dead character. So that came even in their movie franchise, and many fans will say like that is a big thing, that and so on. So before 1 month before DC bringing Red Hood back, that other company brought that other character, that friend character, back to life. So this is how iconic that story of Jason Todd getting killed is. So in real life there are so many stories. Like if you still now there isn't a live action adaptation of that storyline, but think like if there is a time where like in 2025 DC or WB thinks to take a movie where Joker is going to kill this Jason Todd and he will be reborn as Red Hood. So think of how the people who voted for this thing will have in real life, like their feelings. Like more than 40 years before, they have voted for a character to get killed, even though that character was a child in comics. And now they are going to, after 40 years, they are going to see a movie where there is an impact on what they voted. Like it's not getting voting, it's not like voting and going off for no use. They voted such thing. It had a big impact in the comic industry, even in the animated industry, even in games, and now it has come to movies, and you can proudly say like 40 years back I I voted to kill that character. So on. So DC is always about the past. So even in the Batman movie you can see Batman using the eye lenses where he used to capture the all the happenings of the day to day things, and he will record it and he'll see it in his house during the free time. So this usage of the lens is there only in one place in the comic, like